big, big deal in Carter County is duck hunting. Now, I wouldn't embarrass any of you by asking you if you're a duck hunter, married to a duck hunter, or even know a duck hunter. It's the craziest sport I've ever seen in my life. It's cold, it's wet, it's early. You sit there 6 hours. You might not even see a duck, and they say it's the most fun they've ever had. I don't understand that. But I have studied duck hunters in Carter County, and I know in order to be a successful duck hunter, you got to have a good duck dog. And truth be known, these duck hunters in Carter County think more of their duck dogs than they do their own wives. I don't know why. It's just a prevailing attitude around here. And the reason I say this, I get up early on a Saturday morning with some friends of mine, and we go running from Moorhead to Beaufort and back. We think we're the only ones crazy enough to be up that early in the morning. But them pickup trucks drive by us, and it's them duck hunters. And they got them duck dogs in the front street, little earphones on, listening to the stereo. They love them duck dogs. So I'm going to take you down to the far eastern reaches of Carteret County, a place called Cedar Island. One person said Cedar Island's not the end of the world, but you can see the end of the world from Cedar Island. It's way down there. It's one of those bone-chilling duck hunting mornings, and Lester Gray and Howard Douglas are getting in their skiff, getting ready to go across Cedar Island Bay to go over to Hog Island to kill their limit of ducks this particular day, and they've got their duck dogs in the boat with them. And just to break the silence of the bone-chilling morning, Lester Gray says to Howard Douglas, he said, "Howard, my dog Trooper here is probably the best duck dog in the whole world." Well, Howard couldn't stand a boast like that, and he said, "Lester, Trooper ain't even the best duck dog in this boat." Said, "My dog Duke here is the best duck dog in the whole world, and $5 says I can prove it to you." So the bet was on. But when they reached the shores there to Hog Island, Duke jumped out the boat and disappeared up the shoreline out of sight. Lester Gray rubbed his hands together as if to say, "This is going to be the easiest $5 I've ever earned. That dog ain't even disciplined enough to hang around till we get in the duck blind." But they get settled good in the duck blind, and suddenly they see this speck on the horizon coming down the shoreline at a fast rate of speed, and it's old Duke. And he skids in on his belly in front of that duck blind, and he holds up one paw. And Lester says, "Howard, what does that mean?" And Howard says, "That means there's one duck coming, and we better be ready." Sure enough, one little lone duck appeared in the eastern sky. Bang, they shot that duck. Duke retrieved him, disappeared up the shoreline out of sight again. Waited a few more minutes. Suddenly that speck on the horizon came down the shoreline at a faster rate of speed than it's old Duke, and he skidded in on his belly in front of that duck blind, and he perked up both ears. Lester Gray said, "Howard, what does that mean?" He said, "It means there's two ducks coming, and they're flying low." Sure enough, here came two ducks in there just about water level. Bang, bang, they shot them both. Duke retrieved one. He let old Trooper retrieve one, just so old Trooper would feel useful in this story. Disappeared up the shoreline out of sight again. Even Howard got a little nervous this time, and suddenly they saw that speck on the horizon coming down the shoreline at a faster rate of speed than those other two times. And it was old Duke, but they noticed he had a stick in his mouth, and he was shaking his head fiercely with that stick in his mouth as he skidded in on his belly in front of that duck blind, and Lester Gray couldn't stand it. And he said, "Howard, what in the hell does that mean?" And Howard says, "That means you owe me $5, and there's more ducks coming, you can shake a stick at 'em."